Before the Devon derby at SJP, Jamie caught up with Pedro Borges, Harry Kite and Josh Key to discuss their roots in the academy and the Devon derby, with all three of them being a key part of the first team.
So, first of all, I would just like to thank you all three for sort of helping me do this. How has the academy shaped you as a player and a person?
Yeah, I can go because I've probably been here the longest. So I joined at under nines. Obviously, it was quite a commitment coming through school and doing GCSEs and things like that a bit later on, but sort of managing that and footballers together. So I had to do that and sort of use a bit of time management with that really. But no, look, the academy's great and the success rate of players coming through is second to none, as you can see with the amount of players we've got in the first team now from the academy and that we've sold on. So they do great work, and I like to think that they sort of make you better people as well. So yeah, definitely it's a good experience.
Yeah, so good stuff. Again, this is something that all three of you can answer. Yeah. What makes the club so special?
I've been here for a year, and I feel like what makes the club so special is the fact that the club is fan-owned. Like, just everything's run funded, etc. And one of the main reasons why I signed here is for like the likes of just them two here, just giving them opportunities being academy players. I feel like I had a chance myself to be here.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'd say the same as well. Like, obviously, with it being fan owned, there's not many clubs that be such like a community. It helps us on the pitch, and it also helps with how everything's run as the team see that. And with the likes of like our support, we've probably got one of the best support attendances for away games, and that massively helps us as players. And things like the programme and stuff, just little things that this club focuses on, which I think are really beneficial to everyone in the community as well, and how we as players have to give back to the community as well, because they give into the team. So it's really good.
Absolutely. Obviously, it's been a time of change for the club. Obviously, gaining promotion to League One, but also the newly built training facilities down at the Cliff Hills. So, what are your thoughts on sort of the new building?
You've been along.
Yeah, say that to every question. It's a huge contrast to the old building. Now you sort of, I'm sure most of us would probably agree, now you look back at the old building, you don't actually realise how bad it was until you walked into a nice new building. But I think it's credit to the club that we get, like Josh says, we get great attendances and stuff like that, but we don't have the backing that some clubs do in this league. So for them to be able to supply us a really nice training ground like that, and even here, the pitch here, the new scoreboard going up, the couple of new stands recently and things like that, it's a testament to the work that goes on behind that we're able to raise enough money to do that. Like I say, one of the probably smaller budget clubs in the league.
Yeah.
So questions for Pedro now. How has being around sort of the first team environment and going on loan this season, how has that helped prepare you for first team football?
I'd say one of the main things about me with the first team is like everyone tries to help. It's not like a toxic environment like other clubs we have. So now I'm struggling, etc. People try to bring me down, just trying to like help me and make me grow. Since I've been here, everyone's been helpful, just nice people. And the main thing is, I feel like everyone's a nice person. They're all good professionals, etc. All good football players. And going on loan, just getting prepared to play men's football. Really, the quality might not be the best, but just being able to compete against people that are stronger, possibly quicker than you, is always good to prepare to hopefully play in League One next season or this season, hopefully.
So, how big of a factor was the club's reputation, sort of, with young players, for you to make that decision?
I think that was, to be honest, that was probably that was what made me make the decision, was when they spoke to me about how many players they brought through, how many players started with the first team last season in League Two. That came through the academy. That's just when I heard all of that, I was like, I got a chance here, because I feel like other clubs will tell you, you got this opportunity, but then stats don't show that. And then here, when I saw the stats, I saw how many academy players made their debut and how many players are currently playing that came through the academy. It just think it was an easy decision at the end of the day.
And sort of, Slee, you've recently signed your first professional contract with the club. So first of all, I'd like to say congratulations. What's your thoughts on that? How are you feeling?
Just grateful, to be honest. Just happy that the club gave me the opportunity. I've wanted to sign this contract since I remember, since I was 6, and I started playing football, and just works out now, and hopefully I get my starting spot next season. That's what I'm hoping for anyway, so I'll be working towards that.
Well, based on your form for Everton, I'm sure we'll be seeing you a lot in the first team in the future.
Thank you very much.
Right, so now for Mr. Harry Kite. Harry, how does it feel to represent your local club? Because you've been here since under 9s and sort of you're from the local area, so how does it feel?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, my brother was actually in the academy before, so he was 4 years above me. He was actually in the academy before I actually joined. So he worked his way up through the academy, but didn't get offered a scholarship. And luckily enough, I was able to get a scholarship and then get a professional contract. And luckily, I'm playing in the first team now. So yeah, no, it's brilliant. I've always been an Exeter supporter. My family have always been sort of Exeter supporters. My dad used to come a lot with my brother and me when we were younger. So yeah, it's a dream come true to be able to play every week for him. So yeah, like I say, it's a bit of an honour actually, because being a local lad, it's brilliant.
So I guess this is for both Josh and Harry. But how important is it knowing you're representing a local community as well as the football club?
Good question. I guess it's important because, you know, you grew up in the area especially. I grew up a bit of both, but you know, you've got your friends who are all fans and your family who are all fans in the past or fans now, and you know, it does feel almost like your home when you come here. When you're out there on the pitch, you know there's hundreds of people here you actually know before football. So it's quite like a nice thing to be able to, you know, have that community around you and then play for them basically. And also, you know, the community as a club, how they look after the community, and how that if we do well on the pitch, it helps support that community too. So it's a big thing for us, and it's very important, and it's exactly how the club is run. So as long as we keep winning and doing well, then it adds to it. So yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the next one is that even you've spent a lot of time out on loan before you've earned sort of that first team opportunity. Sort of, how has being on loan helped you sort of prepare for sort of first team action?
Yeah, I would say it's helped massively. I think Pedro's got some experience this season at Parkway and is now at Tiverton. I would recommend if I was in Pedro's position now and speaking to an older player, I'd recommend going on loan definitely, just to be able to gain match experience and men's first team experience, which is the main thing. I think, like he says, I think you learn a lot more than just sort of the physicality of the game now. I think you'll learn that it's sort of people's livelihoods as well. Do you know what I mean? It can be the difference between an older player. It can be the difference between earning more money and paying your mortgage for your family or things like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's important as well as full-time football. So I would say it's a huge like sort of aspect that we let our lads go out on loan and to gain experience. So yeah, I would say I would definitely recommend it. And obviously you went out on loan, I went out on loan, and it's helped us to progress to where we are now, isn't it? So.
Yeah, exactly. And like even for me, some of the football we played when I was on loan, as Pedro said, the standard isn't necessarily the best, but it develops you as a person. And I actually loved being on loan, the teams I was at. So I made some good friendships there too. So again, sort of the community it builds in football is great.
So, what are the main sort of differences between age group level football and sort of men's football?
Most recent.
I feel like I'm not gonna say in the academy you don't play with a purpose, but when you're on loan, you're playing to win. While in the academy, you're developing to make it into the first team level. When you're on loan, all the manager cares about is just winning We don't care how bad or good you play. If you play good and you lose, oh well, you might as well. You should have won the game. That's all they say. So they're basically there to win. Just physical. You're gonna hear things you don't want to hear. It's just different. It's different environment. Fans will say certain things that you don't want to hear. Well, in academy football, it's all more like just polite and just calm, if that makes sense. That's what I would say.
It's part of us though, because when we were in the academy, we managed to win both the leagues, didn't we? His age group didn't. So
His age group didn't.
Yeah, joking.
Like Josh said as well, I think going out on loan matures you as a person as well as a footballer. To be honest, I've had experiences out on loan that I've never had under 18s, and that's just like playing with lads that have had a lot of experience. They're a lot older than you, that can help you along your way. So it's nice to be able to get out with a different group of people as well. I still speak to quite a few people that I went on loan to Taunton and Dorchester with. It's nice to keep in touch with them, and it was good to sort of gain experience and good to sort of listen to their advice as well from a different club and a different aspect, really.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with me.
Thank you, mate.
It's been certainly enlightening, and I'm sure that it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun as well. So
Yeah. No, you deserve it because you always come and support us, mate. So we're happy to support you.
thank
So,
you. Yeah,
thank you for that as well.
thank you. No, it means a lot.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah, well
Jamie.
done.
After the interview, Jamie discussed with Scott Palfrey, head of media at Exeter City, the Charter's highs and lows of supporting the club and what makes it so special, as well as why people should give their local team a chance.
So Jamie, we're at St James Park,
Yeah.
the home of the Grecians and sometimes your second home. Can you just tell me a little bit about how you became an Exeter City supporter?
Yeah. So well, it's been a long 10 years. It's been a very, very long 10 years, but it's been sort of the best 10 years of my life. I first came down with a group of mates, and was hooked ever since because my granddad he literally just stood up there sort of in the 80s, so sort of the 70s and 80s, so he was always telling me about sort of how sort of special the club is, and sort of when I came down here with a group of mates, I started to see what he was on about.
And what do you remember of that first match you came to as well? What did you take away from it?
Just the sheer size of the place, and of course sort of the passion of the fans, particularly those in the big bank. They always know how to put on a show, and but I mean, you didn't get off to the best of starts because it was a 1-0 defeat to Rochdale that day. But yeah, ever since then, it's become a massive, massive part of my life.
At least that defeat didn't put you off coming back.
Indeed.
10 years, there's been a lot of games in that time, a lot of highs and a lot of lows. What have been sort of your favourite memories?
I could honestly write a book. I really could. I would say definitely the playoff semi-final here against Lincoln and Carlisle. That has got to be up there. Just a shame that we couldn't go all the way. Sort of in those couple of years, but they were some nights that I will never forget. The atmosphere, the passion, the energy, and of course the performance. The match was great as well. And of course last season, honestly, it was my best sort of season watching Exeter. I love it down here anyway, but sort of the football that we were playing, the connection to the fans and sort of everything, it was just absolutely spectacular, and it was great to be a part of such a special occasion.
And do you find it's that, Saturday is something that you look forward to all week and just can't wait to get here?
Definitely. It's like a family, it's a community, it's sort of it's a second home, and I can't wait each week to sort of come down here and sort of give something back to the club that has given so much.
And you've just spoken to Pedro, Harry, and Josh there as well. I mean, that's just testament to the kind of club we are. That
Yes,
the players
yeah.
are really approachable and will do anything for the fans, won't they?
Yeah, I've had some fantastic experiences since I've decided to go down the journalism route. Sort of being here at Exeter is no different. You get a real sense of what the club is about. Sort of the community sense, and just talking to the players and having a connection with them in general week in, week out is something that you don't get at other clubs, and it's just something to and it's something great to be part of, and yeah, I hope it continues.